try and make this as brief as ever. Apologies for the windswept hair. I desperately need a haircut. And here comes the wind again. It's probably the windiest day I've ever been fishing. It's blowing an absolute hoolie. I'm down at the chalk stream. The season closes at midnight tomorrow. So I'm out today, out tomorrow, try and get a few videos out for you. So you'll probably be seeing this after the season's closed, which you definitely will. Yeah, so it looks like someone's been down and cleared some of the river. There was loads of fallen trees and that down here. I'm sure it was this spot. I haven't fished this spot for a while, but yeah, so that, hopefully that's a positive thing. I don't know when it was done, because it wasn't, I'm sure it wasn't like this last week, but anyway, you'll probably get loads of wind noise, so apologies for that. I'm going to leave it there and hopefully get some fish for you. There you go, guys, how about that in the weak sunshine? Nice little dace, beautiful little fish there. That was just on a bread flake. Little chublet this time, guys. Well, a tiny little roach there, guys, just as the old camera GoPro died. I'm just changing the battery, and hopefully hopefully we can get a few better fish, because it's really, really tough going at the moment. Oh, this is more like it. All right. Oh. 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 Well, what about that, guys? Just as the sun's coming out, I don't know if I can get him in the sunshine, but absolutely beautiful chub. Some really nice markings on him as well. That was just on a bread flake. Beautiful, such good fun on the light gear. Fantastic chub, brilliant. Look at the mouth on that. Absolutely brilliant. There he goes, beautiful fish. go, guys. What about that then? What an absolutely cracking brown trout. Fantastic. It's a real silvery one as well, the red spots. Beautiful fish, and he went absolutely mad in the fast flowing water. Cracking fish. I'm well chuffed with that. Oh, lovely. Absolutely cracking dace there. What a beauty. Just on a couple of white maggots. There he goes. How about that? What a cracking chub. I thought it was a snag at first. It was absolutely lovely. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. Another little dace there. Beautiful, shiny little thing in the sunshine. Just as the GoPro battery needs changing. Typical. It's going to be one of those days. But I mean, I've been chuffed with the chub quality so far. Let's try and get a few more before the sun goes down. Well, guys, what a fantastic session that was. That was an absolutely belter of a chub. I'm really, really pleased with how that went. That was fantastic. Just before I go, a few people have been asking what sort of stuff I take when I travel light by bike, especially roving the rivers. And I don't sort of bait fish much lighter than what I took that day. So I'm filming this a couple of days later. I lost track of what day that was. I think it was the Saturday, the penultimate day of the season. And the season's obviously now closed. So when I go by bike, you can see that's pretty much all I take there. But I'll go through it bit by bit. I've gone through some of it before on a previous video. It was about this time last year. So obviously I'm on my bike. It's got a parcel rack, you can see there. I'd be lost without that, to be honest, because that allows me then to almost extend the crossbar right out to there, and I can use a bungee cord and put stuff on the crossbar, resting it on the parcel rack, and it doesn't get in the way when pedaling. Right, so the actual kit I take, the basics, a bag. It's just a rucksack. I think this was 17 quid on Amazon. It took ages to get it, so I guess it's come from China. I needed something new. It's got loads and loads of webbing points on it. The zips seem nice and sturdy. The seams seem sturdy. I've used it quite a lot now, and it's doing me well. It's got the straps at the bottom, which are great. So I've just got a 42-inch unhooking mat, just a cheap roll, £5 roll-up one, and that goes on the bottom. And then it's got 3 sort of pockets, or 4 pockets actually. It's got one at the front, a small one, a middle one, a big one at the back, and this little one then. I use that one there to put my glasses. It's got Velcro points on it. It's got loads and loads of bits to clip stuff on. You can put D-rings, carabiners, whatever, you know. You can put loads of stuff on there, and it's got straps on the side as well. So I've actually taken telescopics and travel rods just on my back. But this is for roving the river, bait fishing with a float. This is the setup I'm talking about for now. Obviously the mat, other essential, a net. I use a Dinsmore's one. I don't push brands, but these are about 13 quid online. I can't remember the size of it, but it's not a huge one. If you're fishing, like if you're barbel fishing, you're going to need something bigger, to be honest. Anything bigger than sort of, you know, a big chub, you're going to want anything longer. you might struggle. Although saying that, I've had a couple of reasonable length pike in it, and it didn't squash them up or anything. And I would say that the fish care on that was fine. But obviously, take, you know, net size within reasonableness. You know, you don't if you're trotting a float, don't take a 42-inch carp net. But go for something that's appropriate to the fish where you're going to be fishing. And you know, I think this is something like a 24-inch. It's a triangular net as well. Pole for it. It's just a 2 metre. It's a 10 quid NGT one. It's not the lightest. It's not doesn't collapse the smallest, but it's nice and sturdy. It's got a nice sturdy aluminium screw point there, and it works well for me. If the banks are steep, I take a 3 metre one, and obviously a rod. So the rod and net handle both go into a like a sleeve, and then these go on the crossbar of the bike. And all I do is bungee them to the crossbar. I will say if you're bungeeing, just be careful where the eyes go. So if you know, just be mindful as you're bungeeing it up. You know, try and wrap the rod sleeve so the eyes are protected and not sticking out. Because if you rest the bike on something inadvertently while this is on there, you could just squash one of the eyes. So you've got to be mindful. You need to take a bit of care. You know, if you wanted to use a tube, you can. I choose not to use a tube because it gets in the way when I'm pedaling, and it just, for me, I've not had any problems, but I can see how eyes could get bent and damaged quite easily. So it's just something I'm mindful of, and you know, it's just a bit of a tip for you. I also obviously take reels. I take my dam centre pin. Right, terminal tackle wise, this is all I take. It's a zip up pouch. It's not huge, and it's great. My dad gave me this years ago, and it's fantastic. It's got a float tube that takes floats to 20 centimeters, which it's a bit dark, which is great. It's got 3 hard pouches with little hard boxes with various compartments in it. And the most handy thing of all is this. Get this out. They're Ziploc bags, or zip, you know, not Ziploc, is it? Like, you know, the squeeze lock bags. Some of them I've repaired with a bit of brown tape, with glued into a bit of Velcro, and it's got a Velcro strip in the pouch, and it's just great. And I mean, at the moment, in each pouch, I've got hooks, I've got my license, I've got bait stops. I've actually randomly got a flapper rig from when I've been out on the Thames sea fishing. Lead links from sea fishing out on the Thames. Pellet, we've got some drop shot hooks in there, some pellet bands, more hooks and float rubbers. And that, you know, that's it. In the float tube, obviously, I've got a selection of still water and moving water floats. I chop and change these pretty much per session, and there's a few disgorgers in there. And that's pretty much it for the terminal tackle, and I find that this pouch great, and that all just goes in the bag. One other little thing I take is I've got a lanyard with, I take 6-inch pair of forceps. They're tiny, but they've got me out of trouble so many times where a fish has been deep hooked and the disgorger's not doing it for whatever reason, or the fish don't want to play ball. I lent them to a mate once that hooked an eel, and we were just like fishing the docks for roach and bream, and he hooked an eel, and the eel was going absolutely mad. Its teeth were going mad, and he managed to get this hook out, his hook out, and a hook that a previous angler had left behind, just with these little forceps. And it also saved a flounder that he caught, and it deep hooked on a bit of mackerel, I think. That was fishing the Thames. So shout out to you, Mark. I think we've used these forceps to great effect a couple of times. A little penknife, a little fish penknife there. It's not a locking one. It's not like the safest thing, but it's just handy. A mini Stanley knife, which is really good because you always know you've got a really sharp blade then, and that blade can be swapped around, and you can get them really cheap, and it's the tiny blade. That is a locking knife, so that is a little bit safe. Hook file, hook sharpener, snipping scissors, and that's all on a lanyard that I can keep around my neck. And so, you know, if you've you go, I keep a discorder behind me, you go for the discorder behind you, you ain't got it, it's dropped out, or you've knocked it off with the GoPro if you're a YouTuber like me, and you think, damn, I don't want to rummage, oh, I've got my little forceps, and you're just in and out. Great. I prefer a discorder because I think it's neater and quicker, and, you know, but in a pinch, these are fantastic, and I wouldn't go fishing without this little set of forceps on any kind of fishing I do. Obviously, if you're lure fishing, take something bigger, because if you get a pike, that's the length of the jaws of some, even like a small jack. It's going to have a long head on it. So I wouldn't say that these are all you need for everything, but they will always help you in a situation. So that's definitely a tip worth thinking about. And just the other things in the bag, I've got an old tea towel. I've got a couple of spools of line that all fits in there. I've got a flask, just a small flask for roving. That's a 500ml flask just for tea. This time of year, it's great. I normally, if I've got ground bait, I've got a big, is that a 3-pint maggot pot? I use that. It's massive for me. I mean, if you're fishing, feeder fishing all day on a lake, you're going to need more ground bait than that. But this time of year, it's really handy. I actually use old takeaway containers for maggots because I find generally the narrow shape will fit in more pockets, and you know, you can get deeper ones, shallower ones. It's great. A couple of slices of bread, and that pretty much sums up everything I take. So on the bike, everything that's not on the crossbar goes in the backpack, and that'll do me. And that, you know, that's everything there for fish care and fish safety. And I can go fishing all day. I can lock the bike up, rove around with a backpack, or cycle, you know, go by bike and take that with me, whichever way. Sometimes I will use a pannier on the back of the bike, but that's generally if I'm taking more gear. I prefer a backpack. Unless the cycle ride's really long, then I will take a pannier and try and carry that and lock the bike up. But yeah, hopefully that has been useful for you. I know a few of you are asking if you've got any questions. I probably have forgot something there. If I've forgotten something obvious, or you take something that's, you know, you think, yeah, Andy could do with that, then let me know, because I'm always up for tips and hints and stuff like that. And I know I get loads of stuff from you guys commenting, and yeah, it's brilliant. So thanks for all the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was useful for you. Hope you enjoyed that chub as much as I did, because he was absolutely brilliant. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers, guys. Fish on.